3 magnetic phrases that create instant attraction in women. Psychology of attraction, Stoicism, modern Stoic. Let me share something most men will never be told about attraction. Something that has nothing to do with age, wealth, or looks. It's not about being the best-dressed man in the room. It's not about driving the most expensive car or delivering clever pickup lines. The truth is far simpler and far more powerful. It's the words you choose and how they make her feel in those first few moments. Right now, countless men are having safe, forgettable conversations. Meanwhile, a select few are saying things that make a woman lean in, smile wider, and feel an almost magnetic pull. What separates them? Psychology, awareness, intent. After more than a decade of coaching men and studying real-world dating dynamics, I've identified 3 specific phrases that consistently spark interest, build rapport fast, and trigger emotional attraction without forcing anything or pretending to be someone you're not. The best part? You can start using them today. No rehearsed scripts, no gimmicks, just smarter conversation grounded in modern psychology and timeless masculine presence. One of these phrases is so impactful, women have been known to message their friends about the man who said it within minutes. Another fosters a deep emotional connection almost instantly. And the third? It's my personal go-to when I want to ignite chemistry from the very first exchange. Gentlemen, let's talk about that turning point in every conversation. The moment when the energy shifts, when small talk turns into shared laughter, curiosity, or a spark you both feel. That isn't luck. That's alignment. That's understanding human behavior. I'm from Blessing of Stoicism, and over the years I've dissected thousands of conversations between men and women. What I've learned can completely change the way you connect with anyone. Most men fall into the trap of trying to say the right thing to impress. But genuine attraction isn't about saying something perfect. It's about saying something real that resonates, emotionally, psychologically, and even neurologically. Today, I'll reveal 3 simple phrases backed by studies from top universities and tested across hundreds of my clients. These aren't tricks, they're tools. They create presence, foster intrigue, and leave lasting impressions. One of them makes you significantly more memorable, UCLA researchers say, by up to 83%. Another triggers a psychological phenomenon known as instant intimacy. The third? Let's just say it's been known to shift an entire conversation in less than 30 seconds. And here's why this matters more than ever. We're not here to play games or manipulate. We're here to embody authentic confidence, stoic masculinity in its modern form, the kind that draws people in naturally, in any environment, whether it's the bar, the boardroom, or a casual walk in the park. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use these phrases to amplify your natural charisma, spark attraction, and build meaningful connections without sacrificing who you are. No fluff, no faking it, just clarity, confidence, and the power of presence. Phrase 1. The curiosity trigger. The art of captivating conversation lies not just in what you say, but how you say it. One powerful psychological tool in conversation is known as the curiosity trigger, which is derived from the simple yet profound idea of leaving thoughts unfinished. There's an undeniable fascination humans have with curiosity. It's built into our nature. When we start a sentence or thought but leave it unfinished, our minds instantly crave the missing piece of the puzzle. This phenomenon is not a trick, but rather an inherent quirk of human psychology. Imagine this. You're conversing with her, and she shares something intriguing about herself, perhaps a passion or a personal anecdote. At this moment, you can subtly drop a phrase like, "You remind me of," "actually, never mind," or "there's something about you that," "no, forget it," or even, "the way you said that makes me think, but forget I said anything." The secret lies in how casually you say it, making it sound like the thought just popped into your head and is irrelevant, even though it's far from trivial. Then, without missing a beat, steer the conversation in a new direction. This slight interruption does wonders. It creates an open loop in her mind, sparking curiosity and leaving her wondering what you were about to reveal. She might throw you a puzzled look or even ask you later about what you were going to say. When she does, make sure to provide a thoughtful, meaningful observation that reveals something about her character, not just her looks. You could say something like, "I was going to mention that you have such a thoughtful way of expressing your thoughts," or "You strike me as someone who's comfortable in their own skin," or "There's a quiet confidence in how you talk about your work." The beauty of this strategy lies in its ability to make your conversation far more engaging and personal than ordinary small talk. It shows that you are truly paying attention and interested in more than just surface-level pleasantries. It also naturally separates you from the pack of guys who often try too hard to impress. By utilizing this approach, you're not playing games, you're simply creating a more meaningful, dynamic exchange that piques her curiosity and makes the conversation flow effortlessly. As Aristotle wisely said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. In this case, knowing how to spark curiosity in a conversation is a powerful tool to build connection. So what are your thoughts on this approach? How have you used curiosity to make your conversation stand out? Share your experiences in the comments. Let's discuss how we can all improve our communication skills. Phrase 2. The secret compliment. Here's the truth. Most compliments fall flat. The average attractive woman hears "you're beautiful" so frequently that it loses its impact and simply becomes background noise. By the time she reaches her mid-20s, she's built up a defense mechanism to shield herself from this kind of superficial praise. But what if I told you there's a way to break through that emotional armor and spark a genuine reaction? Enter the secret compliment, a tool that goes beyond mere flattery. This approach focuses on recognizing her as a person rather than just a pretty face. It taps into something deeper within her, addressing her sense of self, the qualities she holds dear, and how she perceives her own worth. The science behind this technique is compelling. Research from Princeton University reveals that compliments focused on a person's abilities are far more powerful than those centered around physical appearance. In fact, praise related to skills or intellect generates 3 times more attraction than comments about looks. Furthermore, compliments that acknowledge character traits tend to stick with people 5 times longer, meaning that when you speak to the essence of who she is, it leaves a lasting impression. But it doesn't stop there. When you highlight unique behaviors, it triggers the reward centers of the brain, causing an emotional reaction that makes her feel validated and appreciated in a way that surface-level compliments cannot. Now, let's dive into how to craft the perfect secret compliment. First, timing is everything. Wait for a moment when she reveals something authentic about herself, whether it's a personal story, an insight, or an action that shows her true character. Then, make sure your compliment is specific. Rather than saying something generic like, "You're smart," try saying, "The way you explained that shows a real depth of understanding." The key here is to keep it genuine. Only compliment what you truly notice, and let your words reflect an authentic observation. Some examples to consider might include, "Most people wouldn't pick up on this, but you have an incredible talent for making people feel heard," or "You've got this rare combination of confidence and warmth. It's not something you see every day," or even, "The way your mind works is fascinating." When you said "insert specific insight," it showed a unique perspective. These kinds of compliments are far more impactful because they acknowledge her as a person with depth, offering more than just a passing comment on her looks. The delivery is just as important as the content. Before you offer your compliment, pause for a brief moment, showing that your words are coming from genuine thought. Maintain soft eye contact to further convey sincerity. And remember, don't linger too long after delivering it. Move on naturally, without waiting for her to validate you. By doing this, you allow her space to process the compliment and respond authentically, without pressure. In her mind, the response is often one of surprise, as in, "Wait, he noticed that about me?" This is quickly followed by validation, someone finally sees the real me. And then attraction. When a woman feels genuinely understood and appreciated for who she is beyond her appearance, it creates a powerful desire to be around someone who truly gets her. For an even more advanced approach, consider using the compliment sandwich technique. Start by making an observation, such as, "When you did X," then follow it up with your compliment. For example, it showed Y quality. Finally, add the impact of the action, such as, "That's rare because Z'd." For example, when you included Sarah in the conversation earlier, it showed real social awareness. Most people are too self-focused to notice when someone's being left out. This method not only gives her insight into how she's impacting others, but it also highlights a unique and valuable quality that she might not even be aware of herself. However, be mindful of warning signs that you might be going down the wrong path. If she responds with a flat thanks, but doesn't engage further, your compliment might be too generic. If she seems uncomfortable, you may have complimented something too personal, too soon. And if she questions your sincerity, you probably weren't specific enough to make her feel like you truly understood what makes her unique. This compliment style aligns beautifully with the Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look beneath the surface," which is exactly what this approach does. You're not just observing her outward appearance, you're demonstrating presence, perception, and emotional intelligence, the hallmarks of high-value individuals throughout history. This is a timeless way to connect with others on a deeper level, making your interactions not only more meaningful, but also more impactful. Your challenge today is simple. The next time you engage with a woman, find something authentic about her that has nothing to do with her looks and offer a genuine compliment. Watch her response closely. You may be surprised at the positive shift in how she interacts with you. If you're ready to take your interactions to the next level and break through the superficial barriers that most compliments can't overcome, here's your challenge. Next time you engage with a woman, find something authentic about her that's not related to her appearance and offer a genuine, meaningful compliment. Watch her respond, and you'll witness the power of connection like never before. Please comment below with, "I will see beyond the surface and make a real connection." Let's see who's truly committed to mastering the art of genuine attraction. Phrase 3. The reverse question. Let me drop a brutal truth that most men will never grasp. Attraction is about more than just asking the right questions. The man who controls the conversation has the power, but the man who controls the connection through a simple reversal of the rules becomes irresistible. This isn't some game. It's the understanding of an unspoken, subtle dance that women are constantly engaging in. When used properly, this one technique can transform mundane conversation into an electrifying experience, one that sparks real, lasting attraction. Here's why it works. Every woman, whether she realizes it or not, enters what I call interview mode whenever a man starts asking the typical, predictable questions. What do you do for work? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? These questions are tired. They're not only predictable, they make her the center of attention and put the weight of the conversation on her shoulders. When you use the reverse question, you put her in a position to qualify herself to you. It's a subtle shift in power that immediately grabs her attention, signaling to her that you're selective, that you're not just thirsty for any answer she gives. You're testing the waters, and you're doing it with playful tension that sparks interest, not pressure. Now, let's get into how you execute it. The moment she asks, "Why are you still single?" or "What are you looking for?" or "What do you do for fun?" your response should not be a direct answer. Instead, you respond with a challenge. "Why do you think I am? What's your guess?" Or maybe, "I could ask you the same thing, but I think I already know." This instantly creates a sense of mystery, of intrigue, two things every woman craves. The psychological hook is set. She's now thinking about you, not just answering a question. It's a game changer in any conversation. Imagine this. Her, "Why is a guy like you still single?" You, "What's your theory?" Smirking. Now, the conversation flips from an interview to a real connection. She might say, "Maybe you're too picky." You, "Interesting. What would make someone too picky in your eyes?" Now you're deep in a conversation, not just asking basic questions. The power dynamics have shifted, and the energy is completely different. But let's take it further. Advanced tactics can make this technique even more powerful. For example, add an eyebrow raise when you say, "I think I already know." This is an instant attention grabber. Or deliver your response with a slow, deliberate smile. Let her feel the tension building. And for the ultimate play, when she's close but not quite on point with her guess, throw in, "Close, but the real reason is even more interesting." You've just taken her curiosity to another level. Now, there are some common mistakes you should avoid if you want this technique to truly work. First, never use this for factual questions, like, "Where do you live?" This isn't a technique for every question. It's for those more personal, probing inquiries that are designed to get to know you. Secondly, don't overuse it. If you flip every question back on her, you'll just look evasive, or, worse, like you're hiding something. There's a fine balance to this. And lastly, always have a follow-up answer ready when she insists. If you reverse the question and she's persistent, don't leave her hanging. Be prepared to elaborate and share something that continues the intrigue. Let's bring in a piece of wisdom from the Stoics here. Epictetus, a legendary Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." This technique is a perfect embodiment of that principle. It's not about simply answering a question. It's about how you respond, how you shape the interaction. You're not just a passive participant in the conversation. You're in control of how it unfolds. Your mission. Next time a woman asks you a personal question, don't just answer her. Resist the urge to spill your life story. Instead, flip it back on her with confidence and wit. Watch how much more engaged she becomes, how much more interested she is in knowing you. The energy of the conversation will shift, and you'll leave her wanting more. Gentlemen, what you've just learned today is far more than a mere collection of conversation techniques. It's a powerful reframe of how attraction truly works. These 3 magnetic phrases we've discussed aren't just clever words designed to impress. They're rooted in a mindset of calm, unshakable confidence. And that confidence, let me be clear, comes from a place of self-assuredness, not from any desperate need for validation or approval. This is where most men go wrong. They try to manipulate situations or force attraction through empty words or flashy lines. But the phrases you've learned today come from a place of authenticity. They're not about trying to deceive or win someone over through tricks. They're about expressing your most genuine self in a way that draws others in naturally. At the core of this is understanding the psychology of attraction, which is grounded in something even older and more profound: Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that true power lies in self-control and understanding the world around us with clarity and calmness. In the context of attraction, it's not about being someone you're not. It's about fully embracing who you are and letting that truth shine through. The power of these phrases lies in how they shift the dynamic from one of neediness to one of intrigue. When you stop focusing on seeking approval from others and instead start leading conversations with your best self, you'll find that people are naturally drawn to you. This is a profound change in the way you approach relationships, and it will have an immediate impact on how you're perceived by others, particularly women. The real magic happens when you stop chasing and start creating curiosity, when you stop attempting to win people over and start letting them see the best version of you unfold naturally. Now, here's the most important part. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can watch all the videos, read all the books, and memorize every phrase, but if you don't put them into practice, it's all for nothing. Your mission for this week is clear. Take one of these techniques and test it in the real world. Whether you choose the unfinished thought, the secret compliment, or the reverse question, put it to use. You'll be amazed at how differently women respond when you stop chasing their approval and start creating intrigue with your words and actions. The shift won't just be in the reactions of others, you'll notice it in yourself as well. There's something deeply liberating about using these phrases from a place of calm confidence. It allows you to express yourself freely, without fear of rejection, because you're no longer seeking approval, you're simply allowing your true self to shine. And that, gentlemen, is the essence of attraction. This week, make it your mission to test one of these phrases in the real world. Pay attention to how people respond when you stop seeking validation and start showing up as your authentic self. Don't rush it. Take your time to observe and learn from each interaction. This is your opportunity to step into your power. After you've tested these techniques, I want to hear your stories. Drop a comment below and share. Which phrase resonated with you most? Where are you planning to test it first? What was your biggest aha moment from this video? Your stories are important, and I personally read every single comment. I will respond to the most insightful ones because your experiences and reflections help us all grow. For those of you who are ready to go deeper and learn more, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week we're diving into a fascinating topic, the 2-second eye trick that makes her chase you. It's a powerful technique that charismatic men throughout history have used to create an irresistible connection in just moments. But let's be clear, this journey isn't about collecting a list of clever lines or trying to play a game. It's about becoming the kind of man who attracts authentic, meaningful connections by embodying confidence, awareness, and most importantly, authenticity. And as you walk this path, I want to remind you of the wisdom of Stoicism. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Walk in truth, gentlemen, and embrace the power of authenticity in every interaction. When you do this, you'll see that attraction becomes not just something you create through effort, but something that flows naturally when you align with your true self. And I'll see you in the next one, where we continue to explore how you can refine your ability to form genuine, lasting connections.